Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Daily Dollars. Today, we're unpacking major policy changes from the Social Security Administration (SSA), which include the emergency updates just posted on their website and recent remarks made by President Donald Trump that could shape the future of public benefits or programs in America. If you or your loved one relies on Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid, this update is especially critical. Because these aren't just political headlines, they're developments that could directly affect how much money ends up in your bank account each month. From new withholding rules on overpayments to the looming budget battles in Washington, we'll break it all down for you in plain, practical terms. Before we dive in, a quick reminder for you to hit the like button. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss any Social Security updates. All right, let's get straight to it. Let's begin with the Social Security Administration, which recently issued an emergency update that's causing ripples across the country. For the past year, many Social Security recipients have been blindsided by alarming letters demanding repayment of tens of thousands of dollars in benefits that were allegedly overpaid. Some of these notices claimed recipients owed $60,000 or more, often due to mistakes made not by them, but by the SSA itself. Originally, SSA had announced that starting March 27th, they would begin withholding 100% of monthly benefits from recipients flagged for overpayment recovery. That meant entire Social Security checks could vanish overnight, leaving vulnerable Americans, many of whom depend on this money to survive, with no income to cover basic necessities. However, following intense public backlash and concerns raised by advocates for seniors and people with disabilities, the SSA reversed its decision. As of April 25th, the agency has implemented a new rule. By default, it will now cap monthly withholdings at 50% instead of 100%. In other words, if your monthly check is $1,000 and you owe the SSA for past overpayments, they will now withhold only $500, allowing you to retain some income while repaying the balance gradually. This shift is more than just a bureaucratic update. It's a lifeline for millions. Take, for instance, the story of a woman who was asked to repay $62,000 in survivor benefits she received as a child, or a veteran with bipolar disorder who received a demand letter for $67,000. These are not isolated incidents. Between 2015 and 2022, the SSA overpaid an estimated $72 billion, largely due to administrative delays or recipients not being notified about eligibility changes. In fiscal year 2022 alone, the agency issued about $6.5 billion in overpayments with supplemental security income, or SSI recipients, typically among the most financially vulnerable population, experiencing an 8% overpayment rate. These overpayments often arise from minor misunderstood changes, like a small raise at work, a child turning 18, or moving in with a roommate. Yet in many cases, the fault lies with the slow or inadequate response of the Social Security Administration, not the beneficiary. Importantly, audits and investigative reports show that these overpayment demands have disproportionately impacted financially vulnerable communities. Many recipients had no idea they were being overpaid, and when the government came calling for repayment, they were unprepared and often unjustly blamed. Even worse, the aggressive nature of these clawbacks left people choosing between paying rent or buying medication. That's why staying informed and proactive is so important. If you receive Social Security or SSI benefits, it's essential to promptly report any changes in your income, address, family status, or living arrangements to avoid triggering these overpayment scenarios. And if you do receive a notice, don't panic, know your rights, and don't be afraid to appeal. This growing crisis has now caught the attention of national leaders. During a recent News Nation town hall, President Donald Trump directly addressed concerns about Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. He was asked whether he supported the current Republican budget proposal that includes over $2 trillion in spending cuts. President Trump responded unequivocally, he said, and I quote, "We are doing absolutely nothing to hurt Medicare, Medicaid, or Social Security, nothing at all," unquote. He emphasized that under his leadership, there would be no cuts to these vital programs. He reminded viewers that during his first term, he had the political capital to make such changes, but chose not to. He stated, "If I was going to do that, I would have done it 5, 6, or 7 years ago." His message was clear. He has no intention of reducing Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid benefits for American citizens. That stance, however, has sparked tension within the Republican Party itself. While the House Republicans have passed a proposal with deep spending cuts, the Senate Republicans are showing more restraint, particularly when it comes to Medicaid. Trump's position complicates matters. He's vowed to veto any bill that cuts Social Security or Medicare, even if it passes both chambers. Given the current balance of power, any budget plan will need to steer clear of cuts to win his signature. That said, Trump did draw an important distinction. While he opposes cutting legitimate benefits, he remains committed to targeting waste, fraud, and abuse in the system. He specifically pointed to individuals receiving Medicaid benefits who may not be legally eligible, such as undocumented immigrants, as a category ripe for reform. So, where does this leave beneficiaries? For now, the Social Security Administration's decision to cap withholdings at 50% is a step forward, but many experts argue it's not enough. Prior administrations allowed a more modest 10% withholding, providing recipients more financial breathing room. Advocacy groups and even some SSA insiders are now calling for further reforms, including extended repayment periods, waivers, or even blanket forgiveness for overpayments resulting from agency error. Meanwhile, the reconciliation process in Congress, which is designed to fast-track budget legislation, remains a wild card. This process allows the Senate to bypass a filibuster and pass fiscal bills with a simple majority. If the Republican Party can unite, they could push through a budget without Democratic support. But internal divisions, particularly over entitlements, could make consensus elusive. At the end of the day, what happens in Washington has a direct impact on your wallet. The revised policy of SSA provides temporary relief, but questions remain about how sustainable and fair this system really is, especially when the burden of fixing administrative errors falls on everyday Americans. If you or someone you love receives Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid benefits, now is the time to stay attentive. Review every letter from the SSA, carefully report any life changes immediately, and seek professional help if you're asked to repay a large sum. While President Trump is doubling down on his promise to protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, the debates over cuts in Congress continue, and the final outcomes may affect millions of Americans. That's it for today. What do you think about this revised policy? Do you believe that President Trump will save these programs from cuts? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, do us a small favor, like and share this video, and subscribe to the channel for important updates. Thanks for watching Daily Dollars. And I will see you in the next video.